last time you saw this bacon, it was hanging up in the garage. And look, here we are going to have some for our breakfast. Bacon and some eggs, nice local eggs. Okay, so here we are, Sunday. We were very busy yesterday. As you can see, the weather's not that lovely today, but luckily it was okay yesterday. So we come on out here. Actually, we're going to plant those today. That's the outside cucumbers, but I suspect we might have to give that one a rest. I'm not sure. John might go out later when it's well, slightly less wet, perhaps. At least it stopped raining. Went to the garden centre yesterday. I couldn't resist these little beauties. Mimulus yellow flame. I just thought they looked a bit like snapdragons. Look at that. So I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put them yet, though. I'll probably put them over in the bed where the hedge used to be. Strawberries are looking healthy. I'll come back up here in a minute. So what did we do yesterday? Well, yesterday John planted out some tomatoes. So we've got two. Oh, that's not very good, is it? I'm just going to get soaked. Not to mention what a mess it's going to make of the wall. I have to put that somewhere. So we've got 2 money makers and 2 tigerellas. And you can see the giant pumpkins coming on very well, the one that Dad gave us. More chilies, more big chilies. Those ones are habaneros, those are. They're not quite as good as the super chilies, but they're very leafy. I hope they start producing some flowers soon. So, seeing as how we have a glut of tomatoes, because I'm incapable of throwing anything out, we've got 5 tomatoes in the grow bags along here by the fence, and that's where the cucumbers are going to go. I planted out some beans, dwarf beans. As you can see, it has been quite windy overnight, and there's a few casualties. I've lost a few leaves along the way, but what doesn't kill them will make them stronger, so hopefully they'll be all right. Of course, as with most plants we've put in here, the plants that I've planted prefer a nice, rich, humus-full soil, and what they've got is clay. But we'll see how they get on. I don't know. No, I did see some. Oh yes, there's a self-seeded nasturtium. Not really any more sign of movement on the sweet peas. I did plant a couple of beans in there as well, just to see if they catch up with the ones that have already had a head start. And oh yes, I think maybe the seeds I've planted, hopefully for drifts of flowers, they've come on quite a lot since yesterday. They were barely even poking through yesterday, so hopefully some of them will come up. I planted out 6 sunflowers, so I've got 2 giant ones at the ends, one end there and one end there, and then some Russian, no, those are the Russian giants, some red ones, and I think that might be a teddy bear there. And you see what I've done here. Last year when I planted these, something nibbled the base of them all, so this time I've taken plastic water bottles, cut them in half and chopped the tops off them, and embedded them in the soil around the bottom in the hopes that anything that was going to nibble them this time won't. As an experiment, I've left that one naked, so we'll see how it gets on. What's that one? Colour Parade. Oh yes, that's another big one. So that's all of those. John made a frame. We went shopping to the garden centre. John made a frame ready for us to put the netting around the strawberries to try and keep the birds off this time. And there was one strawberry there that didn't really take, so I've put the strawberry planter on the top of it so it can get protected as well. Handy having it in a planter. And as you see, we've got lots of flowers on them already. I'm not entirely sure that these ones will produce a great deal this year, but next year they'll be good. Pumpkins aren't ready to go in yet. Come back over to this side of the garden. I put another line of beetroot in, just along here. Beetroot, chard, they're both coming up. Still no sign of my... Oh yep, no, there we go. We've got a few little beans, little peas coming through. Mange 2 peas, that's great. These ones are beginning to do something, and I fired in a few more seeds where there are gaps in the hopes that they'll catch up. These are doing very nicely. Beans are coming on nicely. Broccoli's coming on well. We're going to have to get a butterfly net around this soon because they'll go straight for those. We know this. So we'll get a net on that soon, but at least we've got the frame already. Broad beans are coming on nicely there. Now, as an experiment, John's gone South American on us. He's planted corn in amongst the beans. So he planted out his beans yesterday, and see, they all look fine. They haven't been battered by the wind. I just think it must be a bit of a wind tunnel over there. So more beans, and then there's another line of chard along here, because I'm quite keen on chard. And seeing as how something kept digging in the other row, I suspect there won't be a great deal of chard in that one when it does finally come up. And there's almost something in every single one of the asparagus rows here. Some of them are a bit small, but they are there. Let's see. There's a very small one. Yep, we can just see it in the middle of the screen there. A couple of really tiny ones poking through over there. So we've got some asparagus. There should be 5 crowns on each of these. Oh, there's another turd and another turd. I'll be picking them out later. I do wish they didn't do that. We'll have to get a dog. That'll stop the cats coming in. And the pièce de résistance of yesterday was John's watering system. So we now have a solar powered, rather a joke today, watering system. So here's all the little irrigation tubes going in all the rather marvellous tomatoes and cucumbers we've got going on. They're going great guns, I have to say. And there is the solar powered object itself. So the idea being that when it's sunny, the solar panels charge up and they get the pump going, because obviously then it must be hot and sunny, and then that waters all the plants in here, which means if it's okay, if we're only going away for a few days, we can leave the plants in the greenhouse and not worry about them drying out. Because Lynn always says she'll come and do it, but then she gets ill and she can't make it. So rather than pester her with it, we will use this amazing little irrigation system. So very excited about the super chilies, already putting flowers out. And look, they look like they're going to be absolutely amazing. I guess that's why they're called super chilies. There's some more sunflowers that will go out eventually. There's one thing of honesty coming through. I like honesty, but apparently it takes 2 years before it does anything, so I thought I'd better sow some now. No sign of the warty pumpkins. I don't think there's anything in the bags either, but you know, I'm sure they'll catch up. All the loco chilies and more chilies. Yes, we do like chilies. 2 or 3 courgettes left. I'll have to find a good home for them because we had too many last year. I think we had 12 plants, which is too much for 2 people. John's lettuces are looking very good. More tomatoes. Again, we're going to have too many tomatoes. These ones are for hanging baskets. They're little tumbling ones. And that's more sunflowers. Lettuces for the bit next to the conservatory, because apparently they're okay in dark shaded sort of places, or at least dappled shade. That's the corn that I'm going to plant in where the hedge used to be. I had planned to dig that over today, but I suspect that the ground will just be like clay and I'd be better off making pots today, so I might give that a miss. And John couldn't resist at the garden centre yesterday in Credit Crop. 4 times more fruit than you were going to get before. Now, I can only hope that's going to happen. I had actually given up on my perennial sweet peas, but as you see, they are starting. That there is a rogue tomato. I will probably have to pull it out, but you can just about see the little tiny beginnings of some perennial sweet peas, which is great news because I'm going to plant some so that they are here all year round. Well, every year. Potatoes are coming on well, and I did fire in a small sweet pea there in case the other ones that I planted don't grow. And I moved, oh there we go, look at those very industrious ants everywhere around here. I'm surprised the birds haven't found them. And that's where I'm probably going to plant the perennial sweet peas so that they always come back and grow up that tree. I think that'll look quite nice. Yes, back to the good old kale. It's doing very well. This is what I did yesterday. I planted out, well, this is part of what I did yesterday. Planted out 2 courgettes there. You can see they've got their little troughs around them. That'll do well. So there's a rondo and an all green. Potatoes, I mean, that's just in a week. Look at that. That's incredible, isn't it? And the rogue sunflower's doing well. And that's another courgette. I think as you get further down here, they must get less light or something, because they don't do quite so well, but I'm sure they'll catch up. And a final courgette. And because so many of our apples last year had maggots in them, we've got a codling moth trap up here now. So we'll see how that goes. It's a pheromone baited one, so it should attract all the male moths to come there and hang out and get stuck to the sticky bit. It might be slightly early for it out there, but I'd rather it was out there early. We've got a recharge for it, a recharge sticky bit and a recharge pheromone bit. That should hopefully do the trick and give us some nice apples this year instead of a whole bunch of measly, horrible, rotten ones. So there we go. That's the guided tour around the garden for this weekend.